What's up, y'all? Y'all know who it is. You know what it is. Your boy JP here, hoping to make your install life a whole lot easier. Today we got a 2002 C5. That is a Chevy Corvette. I'm pretty sure that year ranges from 97 to 04. I think that's considered a C5. If it's not, I don't want y'all Corvette owners and Corvette lovers to, you know what I'm saying, don't kill me, because I know y'all don't play about them Corvettes. But we do got the 02, and we're going to be switching everything out. So the radio that's in it right now is still the factory radio. It is considered a den and a half, but we will be swapping that out to a full double den Kenwood radio. We're going to be doing a front speaker installation or rear speaker installation. We have a Rockford P1 subwoofer in the back, so we will be doing a sub amp and a 4-channel amp because he wants to be able to hear his music and enjoy his music over his exhaust, because it can get a little loud while he's driving up and down the street. So there's going to be a full-blown series. So I think today's video we're going to remove everything: door panels, radio, the rear speakers, and I'm probably going to do a product overview about all the stuff that we're going to actually install inside the video. So if you guys are interested, make sure you tag along for the series. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, y'all, so first things first, we're going to be doing a radio removal. And in order to remove this radio, we need to take out this whole dash bezel because it's all one piece. Now, first thing we want to do is remove the small little ashtray, and it is going to reveal two T15s. We got one right here in the back, and I'm using hand tools because this plastic back here is already damaged. So that's two T15 torque screws. We have one on the left side of the cigarette lighter plug, and we have one right behind the ashtray. Now this right here is a small little coin holder slash cup holder type situation. There's nothing behind there, but once we lift this up, we do have this piece where the passenger airbag light is at. That needs to come up. We pull this part up right here. We're gonna have two 10mm nuts that need to come up. Stick my finger on the bottom side, pull out the cigarette lighter little port right there, or the harness that goes to that. I guess we'll disconnect all of this. Well, it might not even need, yeah, let's go ahead and disconnect all of these too. Went ahead and just slid this through because this is the cigarette lighter port. It was obstructing this from coming straight up. Seems like this armrest is also in the way. We went ahead and removed the armrest. There's 4 Phillips head screws that mount the armrest to the little spring-loaded door situation, so we took that off. Let's put the key in the ignition and get that to come back. There we go. All right, got one more harness back here in the back. That's it. Now, since this radio comes with a factory den and a half and not a full double den, the dash kit is going to allow us to relocate this just down slightly so we can have some room to put a full depth double den. But what that means is that we do have to take off the AC. It's going to be 2 7mm bolts. I'll put that. And we have 2 more holding in the radio. All right. And there's the factory radio. All right, now usually I would have the door a little bit more wide open, but these doors don't just go out, they go out and they go up. So since this does have the Lamborghini doors, I don't have that much room, so I'm just gonna open it up like this. Now, first thing we wanna do is take this little part off. This part is connected to the back piece, so there's not gonna be a screw behind here, but what you wanna do, take a little panel removal tool, and I like to go on the inside and come down, just kind of pop that off, then go to the inside and go up over here and pop that off like that. Because what we are doing is when we come inside, we are just releasing those tabs that lock on all these right here. So you have 2 on each side at the top. You have 2 over here by the locking mechanism, and then you also have 1 over there on the other side of the handle. Now that we have that part off, Your C5 may actually have a little door right here at the bottom. There is no door that I need to pop off on this door. I revealed 2 T27 torque screws. Earlier, I could go ahead and use a drill, but with this car being old and the condition that it's in, I don't want to put too much torque on anything, whether I'm taking something out or putting it in, and risk damaging any of the plastic. So this time we will be using hand tools as much as possible. Now that we got those 2 screws out, I think those are actually the only screws that's inside this door. We can come over here to the, oh, okay, this one's almost off. Yep. Pull it out, only held in by clips. Now once we pull it out, we can lift it up. And it's giving me a hard time because this whole door, unfortunately, lifts up because it got a Lambo door hinge on it. There we go. Good God. We got one more harness right here that's gonna be for the lock, unlock, and the window switch. Press that tab, pull it out. And I'm just gonna stick this behind this little harness just to keep everything out the way. And boom, we got that door panel off. All right, so now that we got the door panel off, we wanna go ahead and remove the speaker. This one does have the Bose system, so instead of a 6.5-inch speaker, this comes with an 8-inch woofer and a 3.5-inch kind of component situation. We need to take off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7mm screws. And then we need to remove just one harness. Stick something behind here because it does have that little tape on it. And boom, that right there is how you remove the speaker. Now, crazy thing about the Bose system on this C5 is that the amplifier is on the back of this whole little situation in each door. But since we're going to be hooking up a 4-channel amplifier to the front speakers and rear speakers, I'm just going to run brand new speaker wire. Like I said, the car's old. We're going to run some brand new 16-gauge OFC in the vehicle, so I'm not worried about reusing these at all. Now on the rear speakers, they're pretty easy because the grills do pop off, slide in at the bottom, and all these just kind of mount itself in place. Now if you wanted to take this whole thing off, you was going to have to pop that grill out anyway, because this little push pin that came off is actually helping mount this down. So one thing about this rear speaker that I'm not liking is that you can get to these 3 holes perfect, or these 3 7mm screws perfect, but you cannot get to the top one. Now me personally, I am a fan of if I can move it a little bit and not take this whole thing off. Let's try that, but I don't want to take the whole thing off if I can help it. So first, what I think that I'm gonna have to do is remove these 2 pieces, and maybe we just take this seatbelt bolt out, and then hopefully that gives us enough lever we can just kind of shift this up a little bit to get that 7mm out, and we don't have to take out the whole entire thing. So let's try that. That was a T50 that I was using. You might be able to get away with a T45, but that T50 is what went in there and got that off. There's another one of them little clips over here on this side. All right. Getting that little lip off. I think that's it. I can get straight to it. Let's do that. Perfect. Yes, sir. One speaker harness right here. You got to press in on the tab on the front side. Pull that out. Boom. That's perfect. In order for this panel to fully come off, you would have to come up here and take either this part off of the window, or at least remove this piece and take the shock out so this piece can come over the top. I don't really want to do that, but I moved it just enough to get that out. Now, whatever we did on this side, we got to do on the other side. Right up. So now that we took all the audio equipment out of the vehicle, let's go inside and I can show you all the equipment that we're going to be putting in this vehicle for the full C5 audio system upgrade. All right, so first product showcase or products showcase that we're going to talk about is the radio. Now, when you change your radio out, you're going to need a couple of parts. You need a dash kit, a wire harness, and if your car does not have the aftermarket Motorola plug, you're going to need an antenna adapter. Also, with the dash kit, now this is the dash bezel that is going to go for the Chevy. I told you it's going to replace the entire thing, so all those cracked pieces of plastic, we're not worried about it. It also comes with the side brackets. It comes with instructions that you need, because we're going to have to lower the AC controls in order to get that double din to fit. The radio that we chose was the Kenwood DMX 8709S. We went with this one because, one, I like Kenwood radios, the processing speed, the quality and sound that comes from a Kenwood. I really enjoy that, so of course we went with Kenwood. This is Apple CarPlay, Android Auto ready, both wired and wireless. It's Sirius XM ready, and it's iData-Link Maestro ready. It also has a short chassis, so for all the wires that's going to go behind the radio, instead of that being a full depth double din, it's about half that size. Just a few of the reasons why we went with this Kenwood. So now let's go ahead and talk about what type of sub that we're going with. So this is a Rockford Fosgate P1 10-inch subwoofer. It's like 250 RMS, and it is a single 4-ohm sub. Now he already had this sub and he's had it for a while, but it still works. So this is one of those, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Since the Corvette trunk area is not that big, it has that trunk hatch that kind of opens up. We had to remove the big storage pocket and got a custom enclosure. We got this from Amazon as well, and this literally fits perfectly inside that little area. But the one problem that we have with this P1 and the box is that it's not flush right here, which means it doesn't fit, but we do have an answer for that. So I had to go ahead and turn the lights down a little bit so y'all can fully just kind of take in my solution. I've said I got a couple different options. I can return this box and get a different box that I seen off of Amazon to see if that fits. I can build a box, but that's going to take too long. I can go ahead and go to the wood shop, just make me a little spacer. I have to leave where I'm at, go get the material, come back, wrap it, all that type of stuff. I didn't want to do all that, but I do remember going to a car show and seeing this truck with 111 speakers, and each one of those had LED rings around them. So I called him, I said, hey, here's my problem, and he quickly gave me the solution. Got this from the time I called him to my door. This took about 2 to 3 days to get to my house. So since he had a Rockford sub, I said, why not keep everything the same brand? Rockford has subs, amps, speakers, all that type of stuff. So for the front and the rear speakers, we're going with 6.5-inch coaxials. These are the Punch series Rockfords, the P1650s. We're doing 2 for the front, 2 for the back. So these right here are the speaker brackets that you're going to need for the front doors. You don't need any type of brackets for the rear doors because the 6.5 is going to fit right in, but it will not do that for the front because remember, we have the Bose system. There's an 8-inch woofer at the bottom. So what this does is it mimics the exact cutout of that component set that came out the front, and you can fit a 6 to a 6 3/4-inch speaker inside this opening right here. Now there are speaker harnesses that you can get that will make your installation a whole lot easier. I will link those for you, but we're not going to do that with this one because we're running speaker wires to each individual speaker from the speaker location to the amplifier. We have the Prime Rockford R2 500x4 for the 4-channel, and we have the Prime Series 750x1 monoblock amp for the sub. Now some of y'all may be thinking, why would I get a 750 watt amp if this sub can only handle 250 watts? So yes, this is a 250 watt RMS sub. It can handle 500 watts max, but we don't put max towards any of our components. We like to just cover the RMS. But this is a single voice coil 4-ohm sub. What that means is that if I wire this sub directly to this amp is going to see 4 ohms of resistance, and it's going to output 250 watts RMS at 4 ohms, which is perfect for this sub. Now, if you ever want to change subs at a later date, then all we have to do is swap the sub out, because let's just say he wants to upgrade to a P2. P2 can handle 500 or 600 watts RMS. If it's a dual 4, we can wire that down to a dual 2. This puts out 500 watts at 2 ohms. If it's a dual 2, we can wire that down to a One, this puts out 750 watts at 1 ohm. So what we did is we planned for the future. This may give him the amount of bass that he wants now, but if he wants to change it out at a later date, we don't have to change the amp board, or any of that installation, the wire that's going to the battery. We only have to pull this sub out, put a new sub in. So we was planning for the future. That's why I went with that amp. But it makes sense, don't it? We actually have a company that reached out to me via one of my good friends, Kevin, with Tesla Audio, and it's called the Martin Tool Company. And they sent me a new soldering iron. Y'all know I usually use the Milwaukee M12 soldering iron with everything, but when I seen this reminded me of the Aussie irons from back in the day. I don't even know if their company's still around anymore, but look at this. This is for one. Let me tell you something. I am a sucker for packaging, right? This right here, it screams elegance, like clean, sleek, real nice. So of course you got your soldering iron right here. It does come black. Now I hear that there's going to be different skins that you can get at a later date, but when you get one, you're definitely going to get a black one off the top. I ain't gonna lie, this thing it's kind of big, but it's lighter than my M12. But this does have the lithium ion battery, and it's a silicone holder at the top. You're gonna get 2 tips. These are like pencil thin tips. That's nice, I'm not gonna lie. Very long. 2 different ones. One with like a little flat edge and one with like a pencil tip. Really nice. I also like this. You have a wall charger and you also have a car charger. Let's say you've been using this all day and it's completely dead. You would charge it at the job, but you have another job where you have to drive 30-45 minutes to get to because you're a mobile installer or whatever the case is. You can just charge this on the road. Stick this in your cigarette lighter. This thing could be charging and it's good to go by the time you get to your destination. And this part right here, oh, I thought this was gonna be harder than that. It's silicone. Hey, I like that. I like that a lot. Silicone is perfect when you're trying to solder, especially inside a vehicle. I don't know if you guys ever seen those silicone mats that you'll put inside the car, like you'll put down in the floor. So if you're soldering in the dash and the solder drops, it hits on the silicone and you can just, once it dries, bend it up, you can throw it away. That's what this is. Silicone, really nice. I thought it was gonna be like some type of hard plastic, but it's not. Wire brush, this is to clean the tip. Pause. This is to clean your soldering iron. Really nice. That copper pops off of that. I feel like this company not only gave you attention to detail as far as having a good soldering iron, but you know, the aesthetics of this thing being all black and then this pop of copper. Like I said, I'm a sucker for packaging, so we're going to be using this to do all the soldering on this C5. So we'll actually give it a real in-field test and let y'all know how I like it. Because will it replace my M12? I don't know. We have to see. But so far, so good. So while we're still on the topic of speakers, I do want to give a shout out to Second Skin. We are partnered with Second Skin Auto and Home Installation Company right now, because it don't matter, anytime we upgrade speakers, we want to do some type of sound treatment. So this right here is a Damplifier Pro sound deadener, and even if you only have a couple sheets, some is always better than none, because by decreasing the noise, we are increasing the bass and the sound quality of our system. So we will be putting these inside the little pods on the back speakers, and we will be covering the outer shell area of the front doors and the inner shell area of the front doors, but you'll see that in a minute. So next we got these V12 RCAs. These are by T-Spec. I like these because you can literally see the twisted pair on the inside and it's covered by a clear jacket. Now these are higher end RCA, not like the V6, V8 or the V10. The higher end are the V12 and the V16. V16 T-Specs are for like high resolution audio. They're kind of expensive, so we went with the V12. These are still good. Now, I think that's it for now. I know I told y'all a whole lot of stuff and it sounds like a lot, but there are some extra little items that haven't made here yet, but you will see those in the series. But so far, if you guys are excited about the series, I know I'm excited. Make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, share, comment if you want to. If you want to make sure that you're notified every time I drop a video on the C5, make sure you hit that notification bell so you know exactly when I drop it. Till next time, this your boy JP signing out, man. God bless y'all. Peace.